Hi everyone. Before we go into this audio, I'd like to speak to you personally as Faye. I recently came upon a new mic. It's a Blue Yeti. It's very pretty. I got it in pink, which is apparently a limited time thing. And I love it so much. And it has substantially better audio quality than what I had before and is capable of picking up on lots of other sounds. And perhaps more exciting than any of that is that it can record in stereo. So now, in order to get effects like this, which historically would have required that I adjust the panning in post, an act which was typically a little bit more effort than it was necessarily worth. I can just move my face to the other side of the mic and actually just whisper in your ear. And so, with all of that added to my beautiful, wonderful new mic, I'd like to try something. I want to try leaning more towards what you might expect from ASMR. My audios will still contain stories and they'll still be heavily roleplay focused, but I want to play with the sounds I can use. And so what I would really appreciate as a creator is if you would be willing to tell me what you think of the new mic setup and of the new style. All right? Don't worry, there will still be silly roleplay and fun characters. I'm not dropping anything like the Demon Queen audios. I'd just like to try and expand my repertoire and my abilities as a creator. So, with all of that in mind, I hope you're ready to join me on this wonderful, wonderful night. Good morning, Your Highness. Well, I suppose technically it's evening, but seeing as how this is the time we both wake up, good morning just feels fitting. How are we doing on this fine day? A bit exhausted, perhaps? Yeah, well, I'd imagine so. Being the ruler of all vampire kind is gotta be a bit taxing, I'd say. Thankfully, you have a kind and loyal maid here to serve your every need. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure your morning goes as smoothly as possible. Having said that, well, unfortunately, there are still quite a few things on your itinerary for today. For example, Lord Beaumont would actually like to speak with you about the ongoing war in the East against the paladins and all them. He is requesting more soldiers, so do with that what you will. I'm not the one ruling. There's also a representative of the lizard folk who is currently visiting our court, and I believe he would like to discuss an alliance. And then, of course, there's your grand soiree later on. To put it simply, you're going to need to be in your best form today. Not that you're ever anything less. So, how about I help you get ready for your day, okay? There's already a lovely human who's volunteered to be your breakfast for today. So, we'll let the other servants get them prepped. Have to make sure they're comfortable while it happens, of course. While your breakfast is being prepared, I think it might be for the best if I were to assist you in getting dressed and preparing for the day, wouldn't you say? All right. Well, the good news is I've already chosen a number of fitting candidates for the day's events. First is this lovely black and red jacket, paired with long dress slacks and a very fashionable tie. It's the very picture of a domineering vampiric ruler. Of course, you could also display some wealth, so we have this slightly more silky option that you can choose from. And of course, there's something a little more simple, made out of cotton, farmed in our nation's very own fields. Something that might help you connect more with the common folk, if you're interested. The cotton number? Very well. Let's get you dressed then. Oh, I'm quite aware you're more than capable of dressing yourself, but as your maid, it is my responsibility to make sure that your morning is as easy as possible. So, I'm afraid I'll have to take care of this myself. Oh, you're always so grumpy in the morning, Highness. It's kind of cute. If a maid might be so bold. Now then, let's deal with that hair of yours. It's turned into a bit of a rat's nest while you slept. And admittedly, it's been getting a bit long lately. I think it might be a good idea if I brushed it out and trimmed it. Just the ends. All right. Let's take a look at what we're working with. Oh, yes. Those are some nasty split ends. Not to worry. I'll take care of everything. Let's get this brushed out. There we are. It's a bit straightened out now. Let's get to trimming those split ends, shall we? Oh, you're looking better already. Perfect. Nice and tidy. All those little split ends taken care of. Now, it'll be just a moment. I need to style it a bit. Even dressed in the garb of a peasant, you ought to impress, Your Highness. There we are. You are looking as gorgeous as ever. Sorry, Highness. I'm just thinking back on the day you first turned me. Remembering how I begged you for it. That I might serve a creature of beauty like yourself forever. Oh, how many hundreds of years ago was it? How long? And still, you wield your ethereal, ageless good looks like the sharpest of blades. Hundreds of years, and I still I'm always yours, Your Highness. You know that. Thank you. Now, I know I just praised your ageless and ethereal beauty, but, well, you will be meeting with a few mortals today, and they tend to find our deathly pallor a little unnerving. Thankfully, that's what we have cosmetics for. Let's give you a little bit more color, shall we? This is, it's a sort of lotion that I think might do you some good. It's similar to a foundation like mortals might use, but enchanted so as to be applied flawlessly every time, and so as to last several weeks. Yes, well, I wouldn't want to waste your time with it so frequently, but if we are going to be interacting with mortals more and more often, then sacrifices must be made, I suppose. So, let me just work this gently into your skin, and you'll look more alive by the second. Oh my. Seeing you like this feels almost like you might blush. Almost like there's still blood flowing in your veins. Makes me feel like I might blush were there blood still flowing through mine. Is this how you looked? So very long ago. Back when you were alive. Back when you were mortal. I sometimes find myself wondering what kind of person you were back then. I sometimes find myself wondering if, had you never been a vampire, we still would have found each other in some other life. I like to think so. Serving you is the greatest gift life and death ever gave me. Here we are. Now, one last touch, I think. You see, as you likely know, mortals have a natural oiliness to their skin that honestly I've always found rather off-putting. I prefer the dryness of death. But, well, again, they have very strange ideas of beauty, I think. And anything that departs from the human, even if it's for the better, seems to be something that disturbs them. And there is a very subtle difference between a skin that has those natural oils and one that doesn't. Thankfully, there's magic for that too. A little spray. Just a few spritzes from this bottle, and your skin will have that healthy living glow that mortals seem so very fond of. Here we are. Perfect. You're always perfect, Highness, but, well, now you look perfectly alive. It suits you. Of course, I think undeath suits you better. I think it suits me better too. Wouldn't you agree? I should certainly hope so. You made me like this after all. Well, by now your breakfast is probably prepared, so I will let you get to that and get to your duties. And I'll make sure your chambers are nice and clean and tidy by the time you get back. Perhaps I'll run a bath for you as well when you return. I imagine you'll appreciate the chance to unwind. I'll see you in the morning, Your Highness.